So here I am, guys, and trying to help you pass the AA exam more easily. One of the reasons why students fail it, I have noticed, is that many don't understand what substantive tests are, and they confuse substantive tests and control tests. So when the question is asking them to provide a number of substantive tests on a balance, they do write a couple, let's say, and then they switch to control tests and start writing ways for the auditor to check if the processes work associated with that balance, not if the contents of the financial statement is correct. So let's just get it clear. If you're asked about a substantive procedure, you are looking to prove some of those FS assertions, so it's whether the content is correct, nothing to do with the processes that lead to that content. So for example, if you're asked about substantive procedures on say inventory, right? Don't write that you will be attending the inventory count and observing the count to see if staff are following the instructions, because that is a control test. The instructions given that need to be followed at the inventory count, that's a control. So if you're observing that, then you're doing a control test. You could say though that when you attend the inventory count, you will select items from an area that has been counted, and you would trace them to the count sheets to see if those items are recorded. That is a substantive test that proves the assertion completeness. You could do the opposite as well. So from some count sheets you can select a sample of items and go find them in the warehouse to prove that these items actually are real, they exist. Again, that's a substantive test, so be careful, okay? Let me just give you one more example. Say you have payroll. Don't suggest that you will review the forms for some new joiners to see if they were set by HR and passed on to payroll, because again, you are testing the controls here. So what you can do is you can agree the dates, the start dates of the new joiners to the payroll, to the new joiner forms, and then use that to recalculate their first pay package to confirm that they were paid the correct amount. Another substantive test could be to agree the pay for a sample of employees from the payroll records based on their working hours for the period and the rate at which they were paid, to the HR records for the same employees by agreeing those payment details to their contracts. How much was the agreed rate and how many hours they were agreed to work. So be careful, okay? I hope that helps. Oh, if you want one more because you can't get enough of it, let's take receivables, for example. Substantive procedures on receivables mean you don't check whether customers have gone beyond their credit limit. That's a test of control again. So you could be checking the post-year-end bank statements for receivables to see if the oldest debts are being paid, if the oldest balances are paid to the client, but not to check if credit limits are exceeded. Okay,